Welcome back to FlyEaglesFly News, where we break down everything happening with the Philadelphia Eagles and bring you the insights you need to understand this team at the highest level. So far this season, the Eagles have been navigating a whirlwind of ups and downs, and as fans, we're right there riding the highs, holding our breath through the lows, and questioning the decisions being made on the field. One thing that has really caught attention over the past weeks is the ongoing debate about Kevin Patullo's role as the offensive play caller. There's no sugarcoating it. The offense has had moments where it looks unstoppable, but there are stretches that leave fans frustrated, scratching their heads, and wondering what exactly is going wrong. And let's be honest, with the team sitting at 8 wins and 4 losses, leading the NFC East, and controlling their own destiny, these inconsistencies are far from acceptable. The Eagles have the talent to dominate. The players are in their prime, and yet the play calling sometimes feels like a puzzle that's missing half the pieces. It's been a conversation in the fan base for a while. Should Patullo be moved to the booth? Should Nick Sirianni take over more direct control? Looking at Patullo's history, the man has spent the majority of his career operating from above, calling plays from a perspective where he can see the full picture. When you are down on the sidelines, you're engulfed in the chaos of the game. You're reacting to the emotions of the players, to the intensity of the moment, and sometimes that can cloud decision-making. From the booth, you get a clearer view of the defensive coverages, of how the opposing team is reacting to your schemes, and you can make adjustments with a calm and strategic mindset. It's not about firing anyone. It's about leveraging the strength of the coaching staff and putting everyone in a position where they can be most effective. Fans have been vocal, some to extremes that can cross the line. Over the offseason, we heard about incidents where players' property was targeted, and honestly, that's a dangerous path. No matter how frustrated you are as a fan, crossing into someone's personal space, their home, or their property is unacceptable. The passion for this team should never translate into actions that could have serious consequences. The focus should be on how the Eagles can optimize their performance and finish the season strong, not on stories of vandalism or threats. Speaking of performance, let's dive into the heart of the offense and some of the personnel choices that have had fans debating intensely. A.J. Brown has been a key figure, and while he had his own off-field drama this past offseason, what matters now is how he's being utilized on the field. Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and the rest of the receiving corps are solid weapons, yet there are times when the game plan doesn't seem to maximize their talents. And this brings us back to Kevin Patullo's approach, and whether the sideline setup is hindering his ability to make the best calls. Historically, Patullo has excelled when operating from the booth, overseeing the game from an elevated perspective, analyzing coverage, reading defenses, and executing a strategic approach to the passing game. The sideline, as it turns out, might be adding unnecessary pressure, distracting him from seeing the bigger picture, and leading to decisions that feel emotional rather than calculated. What we're witnessing isn't a lack of capability. It's possibly a misalignment between where a coach is most effective and where he's being placed. Nick Sirianni, as the head coach, has the final say, but even he has suggested a shift in the scheme. Rather than a complete overhaul of the coaching structure, adjustments are happening. But fans want to see results now, not later. And let's talk about the offense in practice. The challenges go beyond play calling, the execution by certain players, the blocking schemes, and the mix of personnel on the field have created moments that are difficult to watch. Grant Calcaterra, for example, has been under scrutiny for his role in the blocking game. On paper, he's a talented player, but in real-time execution, the consistency hasn't been there. When your tight end is spending over 80% of his snaps in blocking situations and struggling to do so effectively, it impacts the rhythm of the offense. Comparisons to other players in similar roles show that the team might benefit from reevaluating how it utilizes Calcaterra. Someone like Latu, who has a stronger presence in blocking, could provide a better balance between protecting the quarterback and creating space for the running game. Every play counts, and when personnel choices aren't optimized, the result is visible in the points on the board. That's why fans are reacting so strongly. This is a team with Super Bowl potential, and when they don't capitalize on opportunities, frustration boils over. It's not just about scoring, it's about sustaining drives, controlling the tempo, and creating confidence within the offense. The Eagles' situation this year is unique. While other divisions are still competitive, the path to the postseason and beyond is open. with the NFC looking particularly favorable compared to the AFC, with teams like the Patriots, Ravens, Broncos, and Colts all facing challenges. The Eagles have a golden opportunity to assert themselves. But opportunities don't guarantee outcomes. Execution, coaching clarity, and maximizing the roster are essential. Adjustments like moving Patullo to the booth, refining the offensive scheme, or reconfiguring player responsibilities aren't just tactical, they're critical to sustaining momentum and achieving the ultimate goal. And while some media reports suggest that Sirianni might gradually assume more control over certain offensive decisions, the real measure will be on the field. The strategy can look perfect on paper, but the player's ability to execute, combined with smart play calling, is what ultimately decides games. Watching this team, it's clear that talent alone isn't enough. There needs to be cohesion, clarity, and proper utilization of everyone involved, from the coaching staff down to the final man on the roster. The Eagles have shown glimpses of brilliance this season, but there's also been stretches of stagnation that have left fans longing for more. The energy, the talent, and the potential are all present, but aligning all the moving parts is the challenge of this moment. The frustration isn't misplaced. It's a reflection of high expectations. Eagles fans know that this roster can compete at the highest level, and anything less feels like a missed opportunity. So discussions around coaching positions, scheme adjustments, and player roles are not merely theoretical. They're central to whether this team can turn promise into results. Continuing with the Eagles' offensive story, another key aspect that has grabbed attention is the way the team handles situational football. Red zone efficiency, third down conversions, and play calling on critical drives have all been points of debate. Fans have been watching closely as certain plays seem to stall momentum, leaving the offense struggling to finish drives with points. The combination of predictable patterns, occasional over-reliance on analytics, and execution errors has made these moments even more frustrating. There's a sense that the team has everything it needs to be elite, but it's not consistently translating on the field. One player who has been heavily scrutinized in this context is Grant Calcaterra. The perception that he isn't contributing effectively in blocking situations has been a hot topic, and it's hard to ignore given the tangible impact on the running game. A tight end's role in both pass protection and run support is critical, and when the right mix isn't deployed, it can disrupt the rhythm of the offense entirely. For a team with Super Bowl aspiration, these small margins matter. The offensive line has also been under the microscope, while injuries and scheme adjustments can explain some struggles. Fans are increasingly aware that certain matchups have been exploited by opposing defenses. The consistency of pass protection and run blocking is essential to both sustaining drives and protecting the quarterback when things break down. It amplifies questions about the play calling and how coaches are positioning players to succeed. Kevin Patullo's role comes back into focus here. Historically, he has excelled in the booth, analyzing defensive tendencies, reading coverages, and providing strategic recommendations from the sideline. However, the challenges of emotional involvement and reactive decision-making may be limiting his effectiveness. Moving him back to the booth could provide that strategic clarity, allowing adjustments to be made in real time, while reducing the pressure of being immersed in the heat of the moment. Nick Sirianni's input is equally critical as the head coach. His understanding of the big picture, the player's capabilities, and the flow of the game makes his involvement in offensive adjustments invaluable. Striking the right balance between delegation and direct intervention is a delicate art. The dynamics between Sirianni and Patullo are central to how the offense functions. A more hands-on approach from the head coach in critical situations could help correct missteps while still leveraging Patullo's expertise in play design and strategic oversight. Moving beyond the coaches, the players themselves are the driving force of success. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith remain cornerstone pieces. Their chemistry with the quarterback and ability to create separation critical to maintaining a competitive edge. Dallas Goedert continues to provide veteran presence, offering reliability in key moments. Yet, even the most talented players need a system that enables them to thrive. When the plays are called effectively and executed with precision, the offense hums. When misalignment occurs, frustration is inevitable, both for players and fans. Another factor is the running game, where the performance of the offensive line and the choices in personnel create visible differences. The Eagles have capable runners, but without consistent blocking and scheme support, opportunities are limited. This interplay between scheme, player roles, and execution underscores the complexity of managing a professional football offense. Every decision, from formation adjustments to personnel rotations, has consequences on the field. The NFL is a game of inches and seconds, and marginal gains can decide playoff outcomes. The mental aspect of coaching cannot be overstated. From the sideline, the pressure to respond to each defensive look, to adjust in real time, and to motivate players adds layers of complexity. Patullo's history suggests that he operates best in an environment where analysis and strategy can drive decisions, rather than being consumed by immediate emotional reactions. Shifting perspectives, literally moving him to the booth, could be a turning point for this offense. It's not just about removing emotional clouding. It's about creating space for strategic thinking, for seeing patterns unfold as the game progresses, and for making calls that align with the long-term plan rather than the immediate instinct. Fans want results, and the window for opportunity is narrow. The NFC landscape this year offers a favorable path to the postseason, but only if the Eagles capitalize on their current position. The team has the talent to compete against any opponent, and the potential to reach the Super Bowl is real, yet achieving that requires cohesion across coaching decisions, player execution, and game planning. Analytics have become a larger part of decision-making in modern football, but the key is balancing them with situational awareness. Going for it on 4th and short or attempting unconventional plays can pay off, but over-reliance on numbers without accounting for field context can backfire. Fans notice when these calls don't yield results, which fuels the ongoing debate about who should be in charge and how the game should be managed. The chemistry between quarterback and receivers is another area that directly affects scoring output. Timing, trust, and understanding of defensive adjustments are critical. When those elements are in sync, explosive plays happen. When misalignment occurs, drives stall, and the pressure mounts. Patullo's insight from the booth could help restore this rhythm by providing a perspective that isn't clouded by immediate sideline distractions. At the same time, Sirianni's awareness and adaptability are essential to ensure the team executes plays effectively. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. Whispers are swirling through the NFL corridors, and the latest shockwave centers on the Philadelphia Eagles. Sources close to league insiders hint at an ongoing investigation that could shake the very foundation of the franchise, while details remain scarce. The nature of the inquiry is rumored to involve potential violations that, if substantiated, might lead to a severe penalty for the team. Speculation is rampant among fans and pundits alike. Could the Eagles be staring down the possibility of fines, draft pick losses, or even suspensions for key personnel? Industry chatter suggests that the league isn't treating this lightly, signaling that any wrongdoing could carry significant consequences. While the Eagles organization has remained tight-lipped publicly, whispers indicate that internal discussions have been frantic, with executives and coaching staff scrambling to assess potential damage and strategize responses. Social media has erupted with theories, fueled by cryptic posts from former players and analysts hinting at the gravity of the situation. The rumor mill is relentless. Some suggest it may involve off-field misconduct, while others speculate about administrative missteps that could have far-reaching effects. Regardless, one thing seems certain: this is no minor brush with NFL scrutiny. Insiders also indicate that league officials are conducting interviews and reviewing documentation at a meticulous pace, signaling that any resolution could be substantial. Historically, the NFL has demonstrated a willingness to impose harsh penalties in cases where competitive integrity or organizational compliance is called into question, which adds fuel to the frenzy surrounding the Eagles. For fans, this is a roller coaster of anticipation and anxiety. The team's recent performances on the field are now being overshadowed by these off-field uncertainties, creating an atmosphere thick with tension. Whether the rumors will crystallize into concrete actions remains to be seen, but the mere possibility of a heavy punishment is enough to dominate conversations across sports talk shows, fan forums, and local headlines. As this story develops, the league's next moves are being watched with bated breath. The Eagles may find themselves at the center of one of the NFL's most talked about controversies in recent memory, and the football world is bracing for what could be a dramatic chapter in the team's history. Until official announcements emerge, speculation will continue to dominate, leaving fans, analysts, and rivals alike guessing at the true scale of the fallout. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.